So while we decide, you know, what this economy is gonna do, there is saying that if you have a mask, when you go out to do your food shopping and so forth, that you know, it's wise to use one. So today I'm gonna show you how I did this mask, so that when I go food shopping, I have my mask and I'm not trying to, you know, buy an N95 that is needed by you know, the medical staff or anything of the sort. This is definitely washable, and I made it at home, and I am going to show you how I did this mask, and hopefully it will help you, inspire you to do something instead of just watching news. This will take you a little bit of time, and for those that are expert sewers, this should take you about 20 minutes. But if you're not an expert sewer like me, it might take you a lot more time, because there is measurements, there's trial and error, and one of the most difficult parts that I found was actually doing the elastic, because everybody's face is a little different, everybody's ears are a little different, some are small, some are big. So I started with a 5-inch, then realized that it was very small, then I went to a 7-inch, and then it was too big, and this is like a 6-inch, and it fits my face just right. So I definitely recommend that when you get to this step right here, to do just one single stitch, and just in case you have to remove it and so forth. So 6-inch worked for me, and definitely trial and error. And if you like to sew, I would recommend that you make quite a few masks. This is definitely washable, and you could give them away to your store clerks if you see that they're not wearing masks, to the delivery guy, to your loved ones. It will definitely keep you busy and so forth. So this is how I did my mask, and I will show you right now. By the way, I did use fleece material, cotton, 100% cotton. This is like a very soft material, but I find that it's very warm, especially because I'm doing 4 layers. So I will try a different material for my next mask.
Okay, so here I am. I'm starting to do my face mask, and I figured that I would take a little video for those of you that are going a little insane at home and want to do something to keep your mind off watching TV. Okay, so basically I have a piece of material that is about 5.5 inches wide or long, and I have a little table ruler here, and if I put it over here, okay, I'm measuring it, and actually it's like 6.5, just to be safe. I'm doing a men's mask, and I need 6.5 inches wide if you're looking at this. Okay, and then as far as this way, to me, what I did was I took my little edge and I kind of overlapped it, because I'm going to make a face mask that has several layers for protection. So there's going to be 2 pieces for the front and 2 pieces for the back. And then in the inside, I am going to put interfacing for another layer of protection. So here we go, and taking my, and like you can see, I need a little more. So all I have to do is move it a little bit more. And sorry for the video, but I'm trying to do it with one hand. And just because of where I have it, you can see that it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and about and a half for a men's size. And I guess I should move it to the edge, but I was actually trying to cut a child and a child and a men's hat in one strip to see if it fit, and it actually does. So like you can see, it's 5.5, and on the top side, if you did 7 inches or 7 inches or 6.5 inches, that would work. Like you can see, I have plenty of space on the top, plenty of space on the bottom. This line that goes here, the dark line, is for men. I left a little bit extra for sewing allowance. Some people use a double pencil to trace. I just figured I would leave a little extra right on the paper for seam allowance, and so forth. So, but I just wanted to show you the progress of my mask, and I hope that you guys enjoy and find. Okay, so here we are, and I'm using the 950F Shirt Tailor Fusible Non-Woven Interfacing, and the reason you want to use a non-woven is because it's breathable, it's flexible, bendable, and if you've never used interfacing, the one that has the little, like, I don't know if you can see it, but it shines a little, okay, and this is a little bit. So what I did was I cut the thread, the material, and is facing down, and then this is on the inside. And basically what this interfacing is going to do is going to put another layer of filtration. So when you wear the mask, you're going to have 1 layer, 2 layers, 3 layers, right? Because it's going to be like this, basically. You're going to have 4 layers of protection. And now with everything that is going on, you could make your own little mask at home. And if you don't have interfacing, use 4 layers of materials. That would be my recommendation. I have my water bottle here, and I'm just gonna spurt it off a little bit, so that it's hot, so that it's better for the iron. I'm gonna iron it on, and I'll show you in a bit. Bye.
As you can see, the interfacing is attached, and basically if you try to peel, it's better. And I know that this way I might use more interfacing, but I'm not an expert sewer. I do like to sew, but I think this way it's going to be easier for me, and so I just wanted to show you, and I can try to pull it on the little edge of the interface, and like you can see, it just picks up the material. So stay tuned. Okay, so here is the material, and it's folded in 4s. Let me see if you can see, it's 4 layers. And now I am putting the pattern on the edge, and it's going to have a little piece that is not cut, and that's going to be there on the center. Okay, and now I'm ready to cut. Okay, so before I cut, I wanted to show you what I did. I pinned on the bottom because it's 4 layers, and I pinned up here. You don't want to pin in the center because you don't want to put holes in your mask. And then I traced with my pen. You could use anything to really trace. And then basically I made a line. That's going to make it much easier for you to cut your material. So I just wanted to show you, what I did. Okay, so now I have my 2 pieces, front and back, or inside. Doesn't really matter, they're both identical. But the way I cut it, the center is already attached. It's just, I felt that was going to be easier to control the fabric. And now I'm going to be sewing around this edge, and I think this will just give it like a little more protection, or just keep the material in place. But I could have had snipped it, but I'm going to be sewing around this edge and then around this edge as well, before I put them together. Okay, so I've already sewn the inside of the mask, and you see, like, I've sewn, and I also did snippets on the edge for it to, you know, since it's a curve, so that it could bend. The other thing is that you need something to kind of hold down on top of the nose, so that it's a snuggle, you know, snuggle fit, and that the mask stays in place on your face. So one of the things that I'm using, and I'm using 3 inches of this Fab Lab Craft Chanel stamps. And what I did was, I don't know if you can see it, I did a zigzag stitch in a very slow setting, so that I don't break my needle in my sewing machine. But keep in mind, you can do this by hand. All you need is a needle and a thread, so it's there. And keep in mind that you don't want to do it right on the edge, because you still need to sew this side of the mask with the inner layer. Remember, we're going for 4 layers of mask. So the next step, like you can see, I sewed all around this one, and you see all around, and now I'm gonna do little snippets. And the piece that goes inside has to be a little bit smaller than the outside, so that it's a snuggle fit. So what I'm going to do is actually make another small, you know, and it's just gonna like extra layer. But in order for it to snugly go into this mask, you know, like this, the inner piece has to be a little smaller. And the way I'm going to accomplish it is, instead of doing a 1/4 inseam, I'm going to just do a 1/2 inch inseam here. And I'm just going to leave 2 layers, only because like that, if I snip a little too much, you know, so that's going to help the inner layer go. So if you could just imagine, that's the outside, this is gonna go inside, and it's gonna look like this. So this is gonna be the inside, and like you can see now, we have material, interface, material. That kind of gives you 4 layers. It is going to be a little hot, but it's very important that you put something here, so that it can hold onto your nose, and definitely leave like an inch, leave space, so that you can sew both masks together. Like that. So now I'm ready to put both a front and inner side together, and I just want to show you. You're putting both right sides together, and so this is the back side. You're going to align it right on the center, and every side is going to have like little lips, so you want to put the lips to one for each side, so that you don't have little bulk. And I just want to show you the nose piece here, and basically you want to put the sides together. So just wanted to show you. I'm going to start sewing, and I'm gonna actually be brave and start at this end and come all across. But you can also start in the center. As long as your centers are together, your mask should be fine. I'm trying to avoid putting a bunch of pins on this so that, you know, the mask doesn't have holes. Okay, so I've already sewn, and like you can see, I have like my thread is going, going, and basically I just did two. Gotta clean a little bit the threads, but now that you've sewn across, and again you can do this by hand, now you're ready to sew down and across. One of the things that you need to keep in mind is that there's a crease on this side and a crease on this side, and you kind of want to put one to one side and the other one to the other, but try to make sure that if you put this crease to this side on this one, that's what you do when you sew, that you put it to this one so that it's not bunching one way and the other. Okay, so now I am getting ready to sew down, and again, I'm not using pins. I think I would recommend painter's tape before I use pins, but again, here we go. So like you can see, the bottom is sewn, and now we're ready to turn it inside out. Okay, so I've turned over the mask, and this is what it's looking like, and this is what the interior is looking like. And like you can see up here is the sewing for the nose piece, and now we are ready to like tuck in the edges on both sides. I am going to press it just so that it's nice. And one of the things I did was I kind of put the mask in half just so that the edges are even, because when you sew, the inner side is going to be a little longer than and you can just cut it or you can just tuck it in. I decided to just tuck it in, and it just creates a nice level. And I'm gonna just press it before I put the elastic. So just kind of show you. I am using a 1/4 inch braided elastic, and I am going to use 6 inches of elastic, and this is what the 6 inches is going to be looking like once you sew it in. And I didn't sew right at the edge, and I didn't sew right over here at the edge because I don't want it to kind of bunch like that. I want it to be straight, and that is going to give nice for my ear. Now everybody's ears a little bit different, a little bit bigger, a little bit smaller, so you might have to do more than 6 inches. I've basically started with 5 inches, realized that is very small for my face, so I am going to be leaving that 5-inch strip that I cut for my nephew's mask, which I'm going to be doing a kid's mask. And then I also tried 7 inches, and that was too big for my face, so I will leave that one for the men's mask. So 6 inches kind of worked really nice for this mask that I am making. And keep in mind, I am testing it on myself as I do it, and you don't want your ears to kind of like be stressed, but you don't also want it to be too loose. 6 inches is working just fine. Keep in mind that a portion of the elastic is inside, so you kind of lose 1 inch. So maybe on the outside I have 5 inches, but I'm losing half an inch here and half an inch here.